What is going on, Comic Fam? It's your boy, the Bearded Comic Bro, and I am joined by the lovely Mrs. Bearded.
Hello.
It's been a while since we've sat behind the desk and done a video.
Yes.
But we've got some ideas coming up. But that's neither here nor there, because right now, we're going to be talking about The Flash. That's right.
Grab my shirt.
Woohoo. You had to show it off. Here's the deal, gang. We just went and saw The Flash last night. And we're going to give you a Mrs. Bearded reviews right now. So again, before we hop into what you thought about the movie, things like that, as you review this, gang, if you haven't seen the movie yet, stop watching this video, okay? We're going to try to not spoil a lot of stuff, but stuff's going to happen.
Spoiling it all.
Oh, she's spoiling it all.
Spoiler alert, stop
spoiler
watching.
alert. So yeah, like, there you go. You heard her. So she's like, so if
It
we
will
spoil
be
something,
spoiled.
that's on you. It's not on me. It's not on Mrs. Beard. We warned you. Like,
Stop watching if you haven't seen it.
just stop. Like, don't watch this. Literally stop watching this video. I've never told someone to not watch my stuff so much.
So,
What'd you think?
get into it.
Let's get into it. We saw The Flash. You went in with no prep, right? Like, we didn't.
I didn't even know what movie we were going to see until the day before.
I don't think you saw trailers.
Nope.
We saw Justice League, the original cut, in theaters like years ago.
Yeah,
You haven't revisited it since.
idea.
You definitely didn't watch the Snyder cut of Justice League.
I didn't even know how Flash became Flash. I learned that.
See? So, you're going in blind.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Right off the top, like, initial thoughts.
It was really good. It was funny.
Okay.
So my question is,
Yeah.
like, I'm sure there have been other Flash movies.
Actually, this is the
Is
first
this the
movie.
first?
Flash was introduced into the Justice League movie. That was, and he had a cameo, and I think in like Batman versus Superman, or not. And then he had a cameo in like one of the Suicide Squad movies. So like he had some cameos.
Okay.
The Flash, that version of the Flash's first movie appearance was in Justice League, and then this was kind of his big movie, The Flash.
Because it was funny, and I didn't know if that was a typical, like Batman movies. I feel like they don't have the same humor, like dark superhero side.
Yeah.
You get the like Deadpool. You get the humor in that. Like there's certain ones that they pull the humor in more, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah, there definitely was a lot more of the humor element. Like you don't get that vibe in like when we watched the Batman, right? Like
That's just the type of
and I don't think there was that type of humor really in like the '89 Batman or Batman Returns. I think they tried to do it a little bit more in like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, but I think that just a lot of people felt that came off more cheesy. Where this then felt like a lot more, they were throwing a lot more comedic bits. But it wasn't in a cheesy way in my mindset for the most part.
That was entertaining.
Yeah. So you liked it. What were some of the things that you're like, okay, I dig this? Because, like, you didn't know what was going on at all.
I mean, obviously, right off the bat, first scene with the babies, everybody in the theater is just like, so what a great start.
Right? And again, if you haven't seen the movie, you don't know what we're talking about, but there was what they referred to as a baby shower.
Which I didn't even hear until somebody said it after the movie.
But yeah, and I thought that was a really cool way to showcase the Flash and like his abilities. You're kind of like, what is he doing? But you're seeing like he's visualizing everything, right? Like where this needs to go here to there to what he needs to do to protect all the babies that were falling out as this building was collapsing.
I also didn't realize until after the movie he couldn't touch them.
Could he not touch them?
I don't know. That's why he said something about a microwave. That's why he put the one.
Oh, because he couldn't touch them, and they were talked about when he moved somebody with his speed. That's like in the movie he threw up. When the one physically moved him, it messed up. So you're right, because when all of them were falling, he had them land on the.
He just moved things out of the way so they fell themselves. But I don't know if he made that comment. I think he made that comment at the end, and I didn't even realize that was a thing that he could.
Well, now I want to know,
them.
like, did he slow them down? Because I still feel like they're falling really fast to fall on a gurney.
I don't know.
Anyways, but it was a good opening. So you liked kind of how it started. What was your thoughts on like the Flash as a character in general?
This could have just been my perception, but
Okay.
is he not very socially awkward in the beginning?
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't seem like that carried through at the end, or is that on purpose?
No, I was talking with somebody earlier. I felt like, yes, in the very beginning of the movie, he was very socially awkward.
Yes, like,
And I think his dealing with his younger self, throughout the movie, you saw him grow as a character. So it kind of shaped, because like, he even made the comment of,
makes sense.
and I didn't realize this, so I was talking with Mark from Legion of Comics, which I know he's going to have a sweet review of this movie, so make sure you guys are subscribed over to Mark at Legion of Comics, but to see that. But he had made that comment of like having the younger Barry kind of helped us understand older Barry grow up a little bit more, and he made the comment of like, oh, I can understand how I'm annoying, or not. They didn't use annoying, but it was like, you're a lot.
So deep. There's so many
levels,
literally.
What's up? So, all right, how'd you feel about Batman being in this movie? Like, did you even know Batman was going to be in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
You said it was like a Flash Batman.
It was, and it felt like it. Like it, Flash was still featured more in the movie for sure, but it definitely felt like Batman was a strong secondary character in that.
I liked the introduction when we first saw Batman, which you knew that was coming. It wasn't just going to be normal Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Like,
he's kind of this.
They couldn't find him. You knew it was going to be somebody that looked different than what they thought it was.
Yeah. No, it was. I liked it a lot, and I don't think you've even seen the Michael Keaton Batmans before, and I don't think you needed to appreciate. Like, you understood, like, oh, it was a different variation of Bruce than that the Flash was used to in this movie. So
the cool thing with Flash, with the freezing and the time travel, that brought a cool, like, cinematic experience. Like,
yeah.
What they could do, like in the slow-mos, obviously the baby scene, but like other scenes too.
Right.
You get the change in speed, and like there were funny things throughout that, and it just made it more interesting.
Yeah, I thought visually it was a really well done movie from that concept of, like you said, the slow motion and and having that Speed Force kind of the speed bubble, or was what I think they referred to it, where you got to see other things as well. Yeah. But they did a really good job of allowing you to slow it down and kind of seeing what it is and what needed to happen to move stuff forward. And, so we talked about Flash. We talked about Batman. Another big character was Supergirl.
See, she didn't do much for me.
Yeah?
I feel like she was just kind of...
She was a side character. She definitely was a side character, for sure.
Floating around.
Yeah. Well, literally. So... Yeah, I mean, it was. Going into this, if you didn't watch the trailer, you wouldn't have known. But everyone saw in the trailer they knew Supergirl was coming into this, and so to kind of have this whole idea of when Barry went through the Speed Force and he changed stuff, right? What I liked a lot is I like the breakdown of the multiverse universe kind of thing. How he just did with Bruce did it with spaghetti noodles. Of like it was,
everybody was like, "Oh,
right." Well, because you see those a lot of times, like the breakdowns of like, "Oh, well, it's been," and I feel like it was a little jab at Marvel with how they explained it of like branches coming off of here and other timelines, and it's like, and it's not like that. It's more just like a spaghetti noodle. Sometimes they run parallel, sometimes they crisscross and upside. And he goes, you have those certain points that just can't ever be changed, and that's something that's always been key with DC. In their lore of, with they have time travelers with the Flash and Booster Gold and stuff, and there are moments in DC history that no matter how many times you go back, you can't fix something like that. This is going to always happen in the DC universe, and so I thought that was really cool for them to bring that moment back into the movie as well. That you had that to set up, so it was fun.
When he sees his younger self, that was a funny moment.
When
he's pretending to be him at that time,
and when he's at his parents'
realize
house,
that there would be another him.
Well, because he thought he was that back. He thought he was back in current time, and he still was like 3 5 years earlier and stuff like that.
And then he sees himself walking, and that was pretty funny.
It was good. So, is that
back to Supergirl?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Some of her fight scenes looked very like video game. Like I don't know if that's common, but like she looked like she was just like a video game character floating around. I don't know if it was
that. I feel like you're not wrong on that. Like it was. I think they spent more time because it was a Flash movie on making the Flash stuff look more not CGI'd as you could, whereas a little bit more. And I think it's a pacing too of how they did it. Like right, her zooming around from one spot to the other and jump kicking and stuff. But you had some really cool Batman fight scenes too, though, and that like when they're in that base in Antarctica or wherever it was, and they're in that tube and Batman's just fighting like a champ. Yeah. It was pretty sweet. So it was good. You had humor, you had action. I thought it was a really well written story. You know, my biggest knock for the longest time was I've always found Ezra Miller's portrayal of the Flash and Barry Allen. I think they are a little annoying in that portrayal, not betrayal. But I did think
the Flash character.
The Flash character. Oh. The actor is Ezra Miller, and they play the Flash. And I felt like their character was a little annoying. And I felt like that in the Justice League. But I did appreciate how Barry Allen then grew and kind of adapted a little bit more. So, you know, props to that. So, having the character growth.
When they were in the little zoop time.
The what?
The zoop time thing.
I missed that. What was that?
Or whatever.
The what?
Yes, you got it.
The zoop.
I need to go back and I need to watch that again because the future him, who's like stuck in there.
Yeah.
I feel like he was like, I am future you. I pushed you out. Like, it seemed like he's like, I don't know, it just sounded kind of stupid, but I need to go back.
Oh, you didn't like that ending of...
It just seemed very much like, I'm going to explain, like, why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, because he did push him out.
I know, but it was like, I am you in the future. I pushed you out. Like, that's all I remember.
So that was your biggest knock was how it ended with the dark flashes, they call it, of... like explaining it.
Well, when we found that out, it was like, makes sense. But maybe it's just how I'm remembering it. That's what I picture him saying. So maybe it was totally different, and that's just what I remember. But it seemed very like I'm trying to explain this to a elementary school kid, like,
you know. But they probably are because
that's just my memory.
Or that's how you're just reprocessing.
I don't know.
So I don't even know what our ranking is, but like out of 5 is the highest.
Well, I was going like in my head, I was going to say 8.
Okay, so it's okay. Let's say
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. It gave you some of the.
Let's go out of 10 because I feel like that gives you more depth. So than 4 out of 5. So
I'm going
to
go
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You got the fights, you had the humor, you had the moments.
The what moments? So here's the big question is, would you see it again? Would you watch it again? Or are you like, no, once was good. Okay.
Oh, and then you explained some of those moments, like the flashbacks. That was really cool at the end. Like,
the cameo moments.
The cameos, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't understand all of them when I was watching it, but
and now
knowing that, it was cool.
Yeah, and I will. This is the one I'm not going to spoil that, like, because if you are trying to wait,
why are you still watching?
Yeah, but I mean, even like there are some that understand the premise of the movie that probably are just going to hold out. But there are some cool cameo moments that if you can avoid it until you see it, it's really cool. So
and
I don't
you had told me one, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
like, that's really clever.
There are some really cool ones, and I want to go back and watch because I wish I didn't want to be that guy in the theater like saying like, oh, and that's from this and this is from this, because there's a lot of those moments. So definitely when it comes out on video, when we get it here and we'll watch it, I'm going to be pausing like, here. And
pausing and looking at them.
And I'm going to make you watch all those videos for those 5 seconds, those movies that these characters are in for the 5 seconds they're in that movie. So 8 out of 10, you'd watch it again.
Yeah.
You recommend it.
It's a good movie.
So, well, gang, there you go. That was Mrs. Bearded Reviews The Flash. So with that being said, hopefully you can find some time to curl up, grab a book, and nerd out. Peace.